What is going on, everyone? Matthew97657 here. Today we are back with yet another figure unboxing and review. And as the title and thumbnail suggests, this is going to be the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla Fez Burning Godzilla Millenium. I think that's what the full name is. It's I might have gotten it mixed up a little bit. With that being said, nothing more to it. Then to get right on into it. And the last, we do have just kind of like the product box, which is a bit surprising. Usually the Monster Series don't come in, boxes like this, but you can see the text there. Pretty much everything that's saying, it's as standard as it can get. It's nothing too insane. So let's just go into it, right? But yeah, this is the Burning Godzilla from Godzilla Fez. I think this is the 7th short film they've done. It was I think it was the 7th film, which came out this past year, which was 2025. That sounds right? 2025, and then now we're just getting a 26. So very fun release. It's just a very cool kind of like, I can't even say one-off because it's going to be continued, making the assumption that it comes out this year, which is not too entirely surprising. Usually they have these on Godzilla Day, hence Godzilla Fez or Godzilla Fest, as the Japanese name describes it. So there it is on the box there. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull out this little piece of protective cardboard, and we're going to go ahead and pull out the figure here. Ta-da! Box is done, all it needs to do. And so yeah, like I said, it's not technically a one-off because we're going to see it again, the suit, the specific suit. And so I'm very excited because it's always a fun one when they make these little like tokusatsu short films, especially since they, kind of moved away from doing it in terms of like movies. But regardless, let's go ahead and take a look. Here it is. This is the Godzilla 2000. We'll go ahead and just say Godzilla 2000 or Millennium Godzilla or Meyer Goji. Pretty much the suit, but it has been cranked up to the max. And the heat is pouring through, making it the burning version, which, oh my goodness, I really just love it. I mean, I think most fans really like the 2000 suits, just in general, with the dorsal plates, the facial features on the sculpting. It is just so cool, very intimidating, right? And then you one-up that, and then you make it burning. I think technically, if you want to call it like the 3rd or 4th like official burning with Burning Godzilla Heisei, and then if you want to count the anime the anime trilogy, or I've heard like Scarlet Godzilla more than Burning Godzilla, and then obviously 2019, and then this one technically. So very cool. Godzilla doesn't go burning a lot, but definitely has gone burning a little bit more in recent times. So not complaining, because the concept itself is just so cool, just absolutely going intense heat wise. So very cool. And sorry, I'm just talking away here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the sculpt. Pretty cool. This is actually the 2.0 sculpt for the Millennium Godzilla. This is my first one having the new sculpt, because they did have the older sculpt, which I actually do have for a showcase. There you go, 2026. And then, wow, what a name. It pretty much says, yeah, Burning Millennium Godzilla. And then it has like the poster shot for the teaser when the short film, or the poster shot for the short film. There we go. So yeah, pretty cool. I can't even remember what my last train of thought was. There you have the title up there, which is super cool. Bandai Movie Monster Series. I guess completely just going off of whatever I was saying beforehand. 2.0 mold. We'll get back to it. For it being a box one, most of the times they don't come with tags. But it's cool to see that they gave it a tag. I'm a big tag fan. I think sometimes it can get in the way, but I think just having the tag on it too is it always is just so cool. Especially with the Bandai figures, it's just a nice little touch up for them. So I'm gonna go ahead and showcase the figure a little bit more. I'm gonna do a very slow preview so you guys can take in the sculpt. Hopefully my camera's catching a good chunk of it, but you can see this is a 2.0 mold. Segueing back into that convo, this is my first 2.0 sculpt that I have. I have the original, I think it was like a 2016 or 2018 release of Millennium Godzilla. So obviously that will be showcased, but very good. I really do like it. It looks a lot more detailed in terms of like the scaling. The plates also, I don't know how to describe it. They have a little bit more of like a flare design, not so much more like jaggedness. I mean, they are jagged, like for sure, 100% they are jagged. But I don't know, it kind of looks like they have a little bit more of like a pronunciation to the jag. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense, but still very cool. I really like the kind of like detailing here between the like the stomach and the spines there. You can see it's really rough right there. That's very cool. Very big fan of that. The colorations are also pretty cool in terms of the burning. You know, it's got a little bit of the translucent orange and a little bit of the yellowish kind of going on. Paint applications are pretty standard, what you'd imagine for a Bandai figure. But I think the plates aren't painted. It's actually just the sculpt itself is entirely orange, and the black or the ash gray or the dark gray is the actual paint application. I think that's what they were saying. They made the mold in terms of the color of the actual plates, just so I guess they can make it pop out more. And what I've seen some Japanese users do is put like a light in there, and it'll make like the kind of glowing parts glow even brighter. You know, I think they take it out from the I guess the legs. Like you can see, yeah, you can see the sculpt there. Or I'm sorry, you can see the mold being its true color of that orange between the thighs there. So I've seen some people take out, put a light in, and then it just illuminates the figure, which honestly looks really cool. I always like it when people do stuff like that. It's a very nice touch, adds a little bit of flair to it. So I like it. I think it gets the job done in terms of the figure. Obviously, it's such a new design, but we're actually getting so much merchandise of it. It's actually so funny. I know we got this. I think the Godzilla Burst, that line is also doing one, which has been, you know, critiqued. I've definitely seen the criticism on that figure in terms of the mold and sculpt and all that. And then I think X Plus is actually doing a release for it as well, which is honestly kind of surprising, especially just for like, you know, something that came out less than a year ago, for being 100% honest, and already has a green lit sculpt. I don't know if it's 25 centimeter or 30 centimeter figure, but I think they do have this in the works for X Plus, which is honestly just amazing to see a mold like this make its way in there, especially for like a short film, a short film. And obviously we're getting a sequel to it. We know that for sure. We'll be seeing like a mystery monster of some kind. We don't know if it's, you know, an original kaiju or a like legacy kaiju. We don't know just yet. But this is not the only time we are seeing this specific Burning Godzilla, which is a plus. So I'd say if, you know, you like the suit, like the mold, I would jump on it, just because I can't imagine a lot of merchandise will sustain itself after the run is over. That's just my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong, and I hope the accessibility is through the roof for anyone that wants to get it, you know, later down the road. But, you know, premium or like premium Bandai Movie Monster Series, I can't imagine that they're going to be rerunning it, you know, out the wazoo. So yeah, that go ahead and concludes the I guess like paint detail. I can show a quick articulation showcase here. So what you'd imagine for a Bandai figure, can kind of go all the way back, can kind of go all the way forward. No mouth articulation in terms of like an actual jaw, and then the legs can go all the way around as we see here, and then there is no movement on the tail. But I mean, I live in a very hot state, so maybe it's just like super duper hot, but it's very squishy. I'm getting a lot of squish out of it, which I actually do like. It kind of reminds me of like a rubbery texture, like toy. So pretty cool. Probably not in all states, but I live in a hot one, so I guess cool effect. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to the comparisons. I'm sorry, I'm just going. I was really looking forward to this figure. I just absolutely love it as just a concept, you know. Millennium Godzilla. Obviously, we've covered the SH Monster Arts figure. This was, I think, my first one I actually ever had. This was the 1.0 mold. I got 2016, as the tag says there. 2016 figure. So this is one of the first Millennium Godzillas I've ever had, just like as a basic, you know, for the movie. So you can definitely see the sculpt differences. This one being a little bit more like, I guess, what's a good word here to use? I mean, just look at the jaws, right? This one has a little bit more of a slim textured feel, where this one has more of like a bulky one. And then the plates too, definitely comes out, I would say, a little bit more. I could be misjudging that, but even then, the plates, like from, I don't know if you guys can see, like the second plate top, it's pretty accurate. There's minor differences as we go down, but more or less they are kind of the same sculpt. I would say the biggest one is right here. So like we get here where my fingers are at, we get here, and then we get lower here, but then this one still stays kind of tall. You see that? So pretty cool comparison, I guess. It's a little bit more of a natural, decrease in size, where this one is just like large, still semi-large, and then boom, goes down. Where this one's large, large, and then, or large, I guess, large, like moderately sized, and then smaller, and then small, 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 small. So I guess if you want to look at it like that, you can. I think it's still pretty cool. I do like how it doesn't go all the way through, but you can see some of the orange go as close as to here towards the end of the tail. And then, I mean, even there, like you can't really, my camera can't pick it up, but it cuts off reasonable in terms of the coloration. So that's pretty cool. Sorry. But going back towards the comparison in terms of the front side, there we go. You can kind of see a good difference there. I would say definitely a bulkier chest, like in terms of like standing out. That's like my biggest thing that I'm seeing immediately. Maybe a little bit of more of a wider stance on this one compared to here. A little bit more like tucked in, if you will. And then tail wise, they still have the same kind of like bow effect. This one I would say is a little bit more obvious compared to this one. Yeah, sorry, I'm just like really going off. I just cannot slow down. I don't know why. Yeah, that is essentially the 1.0 and the 2.0 mold. So I think it's a very fun comparison between the two figures, especially this being, the base suit and then obviously the burning version of the suit, which I think is cool. I think they both have their positives. Like this one, maybe like, this one seems like more stylized to be realistic, whereas this one is a little bit more like round. I don't know how to describe it too well, but still very cool to see that. And the only other comparison I really want to do is the Monster Arts Burning Godzilla from the 1995 movie Godzilla vs. Destroyer. So I wanted to do that just for fun, just to showcase, the original versus the newest iteration of Burning Godzilla. Pretty much Heisei versus Millennium suit. Which one you prefer? I gotta say, they're both very nice. Obviously, Monster Arts is more detailed in terms of, the sculpt. At least you'd hope it would be, right? So yeah, sorry. But I do like the paint apps on the Monster Arts here with the kind of like painted glow effect, where this one is, it's nice, it gets the job done, but it's just kind of like a small little like ember color. There's no real like secondary glow effect to it, whereas this one does have it. But once again, you'd kind of expect that from Monster Arts, not so much from Bandai. Of course, as I'm talking about Monster Arts, the tail came off. Wouldn't be a video without it, right? But yeah, that's going to go ahead and conclude the base review for it. I got to say, I'm a pretty big fan of it. I think if you like are kind of iffy on it, it's probably not something that you want to jump on if you don't really like care for the Millennium suit or the Burning suit or either or of that sort, especially considering that it is technically like a premium Bandai solicitation. I think that's the right word, or distribution. It's not a general release, so I guess it will make it a little bit harder to get later down the road, especially after it's out of stock in stores. But yeah, personally speaking, I'm a pretty big fan of it. I really do like it, and I've really been trying to like simmer down on my collection in terms of like, what do I really, really want? And I kept looking at this one, especially since after the short film, and obviously we're getting another short film to kind of be the sequel to see the suit in action more. I already loved it off its initial presentation, even though it was a very short appearance, and I already love it for that reason. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna not regret it. I'm gonna bite the bullet and purchase the figure. So I gotta say, I enjoyed it. It's probably not for everyone, in all honesty, but I think it's a very fun figure to have, especially representing a very, very, very good suit design, as well as one of the cool concepts we've seen Godzilla can go into, obviously being like Burning Godzilla. I think the funniest thing too, one last tangent, I think the funniest thing it also kind of reminds people of is Godzilla Unleashed. I can't remember, I haven't played the game in so long. I think the crystals around the map, you could collect all the crystals and you would get like an actual charge on like near your health bar, and then eventually if you connected enough power, like essentially you would go burning. So you technically like burning Millennium Godzilla is kind of like a Pipeworks original, maybe, if you want to like call it, give them that much credit. But it's just very funny because it's like, wow, and we kind of have like a figure of that, and they officially like made it like officially official in a short film. So a very fun side tangent. But let me know what you guys thought of the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla Fez Burning Godzilla Millennium. I gotta say, I'm a pretty big fan of it. I think it's probably the best, like, affordable one, especially considering that, you know, I can't imagine, you know, a lot of other companies are gonna pick it up. Maybe down the road, an articulated company like Haya or Monster Arts will pick it up, but that might be a couple years. That might even be a couple decades. So we have X Plus, we have Godzilla Burst, and then we have Bandai Movie Monster Series for the options for this figure. And at least right now, this is, I think, the only one that's out. I don't even think the Godzilla Burst one is out just yet. But I gotta say, I think it's a solid one. Bandai, pretty much what you'd expect from a Bandai figure, but I think it's really cool. So let me know what you guys thought. Sorry, I'm just kind of like twirling it around. It's very fun. Let me know what you guys thought of the Burning Godzilla Millennium Godzilla Fez Bandai Movie Monster Series figure, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!